Welcome to the Good Morning from the Chicken Coop podcast with Kim Johnson, your creative strategist and master mindset coach. Filled with inspiration, distinctions, perspectives, and possibilities, we help you to cultivate a mindset that leads you to create the best version of yourself you could ever imagine. Join Kim every morning from one of her favorite happy places, her chicken coop, along with all her chickens.
Hey everybody, good morning from the chicken coop. So today we are talking about overthinking things and how we have a habitual situation of overthinking things. As human beings, we are just so prone to the overthinking and the over-analyzing and the we've got a new rooster crowing. For those of you who are regular listeners, that's a new rooster crowing. It's one of the little baby ones. And he is actually a really good boy, so it's kind of cool that he is growing now. So anyway, back to my, sorry for the little distraction there, but back to my overthinking. So what happens when we get into that state of overthinking? Lots of things fire off in our head. Lots of things take place, and lots of patterns start to jump out. And for some of us, overthinking is an everyday occurrence. We just overthink because that's what we do, and it's just a part of our normal everyday thing. We'll say we're going to do something, and then we start thinking about it. We second guess ourselves, and we take forever to make decisions. Now, there are some of us who will sit there and say, "Well, I'm not actually overthinking. I'm just, analyzing. I'm going into a state of checking facts. I'm going into lots of different things about my process." Everybody has their way of talking about it, but it becomes a problem when it goes on too long. It becomes a problem when it's impeding your progress. It becomes an actual issue when you're not able to make a decision and feel confident with it. There are tons and tons of studies that have been done about this, that people who think about something and want to change their mind and overthink it and overthink it and overthink it are far less happy people than those who just make a decision and stick with it and just say, that's it, it's done, the decision's done. I tend to be a very quick decision maker, and I tend to be, okay with my decisions. In fact, very happy with my decisions. And I've always said, I have, in my family has made comments about the fact that you make decisions very quickly. But the reality is, me overthinking them does not help at all. So if I have something to think about and I really want to give it time to process it, I will tell you the best strategy I ever found is to set a timeline and say, listen, I'm not qualified to make a decision right now until my emotions come down. I'm going to bring my emotions back to neutral. I'm going to give myself 24 hours, and then I'm going to make a decision. When I make the decision, that's it, I'm done. And then I stick with it. I don't try to mess around with it, because the more I mess around with it, the more it gets in my way. So I want to share that with you because I think that giving yourself a timeline is super helpful. It's easy. You can, you're not going to go past that timeline, and then boom, you know what? You can pull the trigger and not have to overthink it. When you feel yourself getting in a situation of overthinking, you don't want to enter into analysis paralysis, because God knows that gets you just on a plane to nowhere. And when you recognize that you are in analysis paralysis, like some of you might right now be listening to this and saying, oh my God, I've been in analysis paralysis about something as simple as an item you have to buy. Like, which one should I get? If you got to get a new phone, you're over-analyzing what phone you should get. If you're going to buy, I know my husband over-analyzed a grill for an entire year before he made a decision about which one that he should get. And I just will tell you, it steals your joy when you are allowing yourself to get into a state of analysis paralysis and just keep going back and forth. And part of the reason why that doesn't work, just to give you a little bit of insight, is whatever you're focusing on, it changes over time. So let's just use the grill, for example. You start looking at a grill and you take a long time. By the time you made a decision, guess what? That grill is now outdated and there's another version of it. So you're stuck. You're like, okay, well, I made a decision on this one, but now they came out with another one. Now I don't know what to do with myself. And that just keeps going. So rather than put yourself into that position of overanalyzing, overthinking, and being stuck. Just recognize the person you are in this moment is not the person you will be in the next moment and the next day, the next hour, however you want to look at it. We're constantly evolving, constantly growing. So there is room for growth all the time. The decision you make today, if you're not happy with it in a period of time later, you may make another decision. It's a beautiful thing. You can decide something different. You can move into something different. And you can change your mind often. That's why that's available to us. Don't get stuck in overthinking it, and because we get stuck on permanency. And most of the things in our life are not permanent. And we know that. We don't like that, but we know it. So consider all of this. Be careful with it. Play with it, and don't allow yourself to get into that overthinking, analysis paralysis, and causing yourself to be stuck. It's a waste of time. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you all tomorrow.